Well, I just received my iPad, came in the mail today, and just wanted to get some first impressions. I'm going to compare it with my iPhone since that's the closest other system I have. Physically, it's very much almost the same, uh, as you can see, thickness, but then the size of it is very different. I'll go ahead and just lean it against my computer here just so that it's vertical. I won't get the ceiling lights reflection. I have this little, so I took some screenshots, and this is actually a little player that it comes with, like a slideshow. So if I were to open it, similar to the iPhone, it works very similarly with the same button at the top for the power, and if I click on the home button, it turns it back on. And the one thing I first noticed is that the screen is, of course, larger than the iPhone. But then one thing in general is if you go into, say, the settings, you notice that there's two panels. And if I go to the settings on my iPhone, there's a single panel, if you will, where there's only enough room for a single selection. Now this selection here is similar to the selection over here, but the nice thing is that this section on the right is the details. So if I were to want to do the same thing, I have to tap on it and then go to a secondary screen, whereas this, you can get the combined view. So I think that's the general advantage of having a larger screen. You can do that type of thing with the applications. The other thing I noticed is that, for example, the Netflix, you can play videos directly onto the iPad. So these are on-demand videos, and currently it's not yet available on the iPhone. I heard that it's going to come soon. But other things, of course, that's different is I noticed the iBooks, which is the bookstore. I went to the store itself, which you can tap here in the upper left, and I just searched for free. I just wanted to see how it works before I start purchasing real books. So if I were to search just for free, meaning books that may be free, I find that there are lots of, I guess these are considered public domain, but as you can see here, I can tap on the next panels or lists here, and there's just many classic books: Treasure Island, Frankenstein, The Jungle Book, Moby Dick. So a lot of these I read in high school, but they are free, which is nice. I plan to download them and check out to see how I can read them when I travel this weekend, since I heard the battery is supposed to be really good. So that's going to be a very different experience than my iPhone. I went ahead and started also to run an iPhone app, meaning currently we were running applications built for the iPad, but this is an application I developed that was originally developed for the iPhone, which I'm currently updating for the iPad. So by default, you can run it and directly from the iPad without any modifications. So for example, if I were to tap on the data set here, this is actually clinical data, and I can view, data view on a large screen similar to what it would look like on an iPhone, the iPhone being smaller. Of course, I'm going to currently update it with that multi-panel screen that I talked about earlier, where I can have the detailed view and kind of like an Explorer navigational view on the left. So that would be nice to be able to do, to take advantage. But if I tap on this button down here, it goes back to its original 1x view, which is analogous to the iPhone, but I can enlarge it, which is nice. So in general, I think it runs a lot faster. If I were to go to a Safari web browser, as I would here on my iPhone, I can load an article, a news article, for example, on Google News, and I can try to do the same thing here on Safari, and it would just load a lot slower on the iPhone, even though everything being the same. I think the processor is a lot faster, so everything just loads a lot faster. Bandwidth may be the same, but in terms of how it renders everything, and of course the larger view, it makes it a lot nicer to be able to read things. So yeah, in general I think it's a great tool. I think there's a lot of possibilities in terms of building applications for it.